Hey guys, the story I'm about to tell you is not a fake story. It's actually quite a real story, and it happened to my friend about 2 weeks ago. He lives here now in Alberta, Canada, in Edmonton. Edmonton's actually the capital of Alberta, and it's 2016 right now. It happened to him 2 weeks ago, so just at the start of November this year. And so, guys, you gotta sit back, kick your legs up. It's quite a long story. Decided to share it with you guys because it's quite creepy, and I definitely thought you guys should know about what's going on here. It's not really, it's not normal, I guess you can say. So I'm just gonna jump right into this shit. Okay, just let me set my mic here, and all right, I'm good. So it all began on a sunny morning. He's in grade 12. He goes to school. He actually takes public transport. He takes a ETT bus, stands for Edmonton, or yeah, Edmonton Transit. What's it called? ETS. Sorry, Edmonton Transit System. There you go. That's the name of it. And what he did was, he takes the bus to school every day. Comes home on time, goes to school on time, takes type of kid that goes to all his classes, never late, gets his homework handed. He's the top of the board, top of the board. It's your ladies. My name's Jacksepticeye kind of guy. Um, anyways, he was in school one day, and the school went into lockdown. Yeah, now the school's in lockdown. Um, Here in Canada, it's you follow a pretty basic procedure. What you gotta do is you gotta listen to the teacher. The teacher's in charge. You lock the doors. The principal and the office locks all hallway doors, main door, and all the entrances leading into the school. You have to close windows, get away from the windows, and pretty much protect yourselves because there's a threat in the area. So the school went on lockdown, and obviously there's drills happening to make sure procedures are on par and everything's good. But however, he was telling me that this wasn't an experiment. It was real. Because when the announcement came on, the principal was gassed. He was winded. And all he managed to get out was, "This is not a drill. Lockdown. Lockdown." And he said on the third lockdown, all he managed to say was lock before his finger lifted off some sort of button, and he got cut off. Before he got cut off, pretty much. Now, obviously, that was enough for the teachers to, raise concern and end classes, all lectures there, and they all hid inside the classroom. Locked their doors, closed their windows, put their blinds down and everything. And he being at the school one day, he was in a class of about, I think it was 15 or 14 kids. And they were all pretty scared. They didn't know what was going to happen. They all hid, yeah, right away. And all of a sudden, the intercom comes back on and said, "All clear, you're good to go." However, it wasn't the principal. He said it was an unrecognized voice. Usually, you have the office secretaries or someone who works at the office that's always on the intercom, and their voice is quite recognizable. They're on every day, and you know their voice. But he said this voice was almost, you didn't know who it was. So his teacher was confused as well, because all clears their all clear sign, and that's when they're good to go and they can assume classes and everything. But their teacher was smart, and she knew something was up. She said, "We're not going anywhere." They continued to hide in their classroom. A few more minutes passed by. The fire alarm went on, and he said about half the school migrated out. And as the fire alarm's ringing, his teacher continues to keep their children within the classroom. And everyone's exiting out the school. They're walking on. Their teacher says, "It's a trap. We don't want to fall in the trap. It's for the greater good. We're going to stay in here." They stay in, and they're pretty much locked in. And they don't know who's right. They don't know if their teacher's right or the intercom's right. And he's pretty much in a state of confusion right now. So a few more minutes go by, and all of a sudden he starts getting these text messages, these calls, and he was telling me how his phone just starts like blowing up with messages from his parents, from friends and family. They're like, "Are you okay? Are you alive? Where are you? Please call me back. Call me if you get this message." And he knew something bad had happened all of a sudden. He knew that all those kids that had migrated out of the school, it was 780 of them, were shot down, shot to death by snipers that were hiding on top of their school, and gunmen that were hiding outside with fully automatic rifles. Their teacher in there is freaking out because she's starting to realize what's happening as well. The police are alerted, they're on their way, SWAT team's on their way. But they're still too scared to open their classroom and get to safety. So they continue to hide with the lights off without making a single noise, except on their phones, trying to contact their parents through messages, obviously not calling, because if there was someone outside their door, they'd be able to hear them. So a couple more minutes go by, and all of a sudden, the hallway is already empty, because everyone who's wanted to migrate due to this fire alarm has already left the building. And everyone who thinks the fire alarm is fake is still hiding in the classroom, so the hallways are dead silent at the moment. And he starts hearing these boots click-clack on the floor, approaching his classroom door. And first he thought it was just one person, but then he starts hearing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's lost count of how many footsteps he was hearing approaching his door. And as they're approaching down the hallway, he's hearing doors being flung open. Now, how are they being flung open? He said it was a sound as if they were being kicked. They were being kicked open, and door flew open and hit the wall on the other side. And it was a very loud and horrific sound, because he knew any time they would be next. And he's in his classroom, and they're praying to God that SWAT team comes in and someone takes care of them, because they don't know who that person is. He's kicking doors open. They wait until the people arrive at their door. By the time they get to their door, they're all hiding behind a desk, cowering in fear at the mercy of who's ever behind that door. They kick their door open, and they see the teacher. However, the students manage to get behind the teachers' desks, or hide in the cupboards, or under some desks where they keep art supplies and stuff like that. And they're hiding there as quiet as they can. They find the teacher, who's peeping out just a little bit under the desk, and they grab her by the collar and drag her outside. He said they dragged her out, and all they heard was a couple gunshots and her crying, and then her hit the floor. Now, what a horrific explanation that is. The last piece of information you have of your teacher, of what's left of her. So that's the last they heard from her teacher, because she absolutely got fucked because of that. And whoever those intruders were, they left as they came, in silence, without disturbing them. And they go down the hallways, and they continue to bash doors open and pull out whoever they can find and kill them on sight. The death toll then went from 780 some to over 1,000 people. They managed to kill 300 people that were hiding. Their school had over 2,000 people. It was 2,100 some. It's over there. So it was a big school. And they managed to kill as many as they could. And he was still there in his school, cowering. After they managed to get out as many people as they could and kill them on sight, they planted the school with C4s and IEDs. And after the entire school was planted, they pretty much blew it down to pieces. But if they blew it down to pieces, how could my friend who was in there have been telling me this story, right? Wouldn't he be dead? Wouldn't he be somewhere in extreme medical care, No, that's not the case. He tried to be the hero, you see? When they left the classroom, he tried to make a break for it. He tried to fucking dash on pretty much on him. But he was successful. Yes, I'm going to give him that much. He managed to leave the classroom without getting caught. He left the classroom and tiptoed out, and he saw the hallways. They had this. They had like this little package taped onto the wall with duct tape, with a flashing light on it and a timer. And a timer that was the same for all of them. Read about 5 minutes and 25 seconds when he stepped out of the classroom. And he's running down. He's trying to make his way to the end. But of course, the doors are locked. The doors are locked because the school's in lockdown. So he's kicking and trying to pry the doors open. But he can't. And the clock's ticking down. The clock's ticking down. All of a sudden, he hears someone come behind his back with a gun and just open fire at him. And he ducks, bullets flying by him, whipping past his ear. Luckily, not a single bullet hit him. He survived that, and he managed to duck into a classroom. The classroom he got in had a window. He got to the window, he opened it, and he managed to escape out of school. And the person that was in there was shooting through the window at him as he was running away. But he was smart enough to know not to run in a straight line. He was running zigzag. The person shooting at him behind him, and while doing so, the bombs go off, the IEDs go off, and the entire school collapses. And the death toll then goes up from 1,000 to 1,800. Only 300 people survived that. And all the people that did survive that were very, very badly injured. And other people that survived that were people that managed to leave during the fire alarm, who escaped the shooting from the snipers, or people that snuck out, like my man here. Now, I haven't mentioned his name because I want to keep his identity a secret, of course, but he managed to see who these people were, who they were representing. And he said these people came in heavily armored. They had bulletproof vests on that were in dark navy blue color. They were built. They looked all of Caucasian descent. Blonde beards, blonde long hair, mind you. And camouflaged pants with heavy steel-toed shoes. God, I can't talk. High heels, of course. CNS approved. And he said they all looked like vicious killers with guns and everything in their hands. However, none of them survived. Why? It was a suicide mission. It was do and die. They knew they weren't coming out alive, so they took down everyone they could with them. Huh. What a beautiful story.